there's really a disparity between how the men were treated at the higher levels
Hmm.
and the women. And I'm the father of a daughter, and that kind of rubbed me wrong immediately. And I just thought that if I were to do this club, I want to do everything first class. Um, I want them to play it on the best pitch. I want them to, not have to worry about anything. Have the finest trainers, the best coaches that we can get a hold of, and just the best environment, really. Since the season is so short, about 3 months,
Yeah.
I want it to be a lot of fun for them too. And
Welcome here on Sandy Bay Media. I'm joined by John over at Texas South Star Football Club, and we're going to have a chat with him about everything about Texas South Stars and what makes them so special and get a bit of insight into the club. Firstly, thank you for joining us, John.
oh, my pleasure.
Well, let's get a quick snapshot into the history of the club and sort of the background on it.
Yeah, so I've been involved in the youth side of the game for probably better part of 17 years. And, I was always interested in, what do you do beyond college, if you will? There's a lot of players that wanted to play past college and just wanted to give them the opportunity. So I was approached by the league, the WPSL, which is Women's Premier Soccer League. It's kind of um, for us here in the States, it's kind of a summer league, if you will,
Yeah.
for collegiate players and players beyond their collegiate years.
Hmm.
And so they asked me if I would be interested in starting a club because they've really not had a solid club in the Dallas Fort Worth area, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And they were looking for something that could be established and kind of take it and run with it, if you will. So I said yes. Must have been in a good mood.
That's awesome
It's
to
been a lot
hear.
of fun.
And how long ago was that?
It's about 4 years ago.
Okay, brilliant. So it's still quite a relatively young squad, young
Very
club.
much so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And in that space, so just looking at your time with the club and sort of, as you mentioned, it's trying to give players an opportunity beyond their college years. What's been some of the challenges and how have you and the club overcame them?
Uh, Biggest challenge is just letting the players know that we're here and here to support them, and then kind of you know beyond that, it's really not been too bad at all, other
Yeah.
than getting sponsorships, the usual financial side of a
Yeah.
club. But once the players find out, and we've been working with a lot of college coaches, and it's really helped
Hmm.
fill the roster with some really good players. And it's been, I just let the coaching staff take it and run with it, and I just sit back and enjoy it.
That's always the aim of any sort of committee on board, just to let the coaching staff do their job and kind of just like, yep, everything's set, go for it, guys. And just looking at the club a little bit more, as you mentioned, it's about giving players an opportunity outside college. What sort of makes it special beyond that, and sort of what is there for players that attracts them to the club?
Well, I found there's really a disparity between how the men were treated at the higher levels
Hmm.
and the women. And I'm the father of a daughter, and that kind of rubbed me wrong immediately. And I just thought that if I were to do this club, I want to do everything first class. Um, I want them to play it on the best pitch. I want them to not have to worry about anything. Have the finest trainers, the best coaches that we can get a hold of, and just the best environment, really. Since the season is so short, about 3 months,
Yeah.
I want it to be a lot of fun for them too. And because after they're done with our season, they go right back into their college season.
Hmm.
So hopefully they're in really game day shape. And but in terms of it's just resources.
Yeah.
We've got a great strength and conditioning coach. We've got just a lot of position coaches that
Hmm.
really work with the players, and it's all
Okay.
free to them.
Yeah.
No, it's and then like transportation when we go to away games, it's a nice bus or a motor coach as
Yeah.
opposed to them driving individually, things
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, it's a bit about making sure they have the professionalism available to them, but at the same time, it's still, it's still an environment that they still feel comfortable and they can still socialize and they're still looked after. As you mentioned,
Yeah,
traveling and yeah, you guys travel a lot up there, so
yeah. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, there's really the longest away games is a 5 hour drive, but
that's
and
a long.
then yeah, that's one game, but the majority of the games are within 1 to 2 hours, so it's not too bad.
1 to 2 hours is still a long time for like anyone.
We're used to it here, I guess.
I guess that's a
We're
short
all
trip, but yeah.
spread. We're spread out here in Texas, so
Uh, but no, that's great to hear that. And the other thing I wanted to look at is sort of, as you mentioned, it's about providing those opportunities for those college players. But I want to have a look at a bit of the coaching side of things. I think, as you mentioned, you've got professional coaches and trainers in, and positional coaches to cater for those players. Can you give us a little bit more of an insight into that?
yeah. I when I first decided to do this, I really wanted to get a woman coach if I could, and I was very fortunate to get one. Um, Her name is Susan Quill. Her maiden name is Susan Bush. She was an alternate on the, I believe it was '99 World Cup and the Olympic team, and as a high school player. And then
Yeah,
she played at North Carolina, which is a big time soccer school here in the States. And then she was a Division I college coach.
hmm,
And so she had a lot of experience in that regard. And plus, she's, I think, a good role model in terms she was, a female and was very successful in those roles. She has since, her husband is also a coach, and he's now an assistant up in the MLS
yeah,
up in Columbus, Ohio, with the
okay,
Crew. And so I had to get another coach, and I was fortunate enough to find one. She also played at North Carolina, was on the women's national team, and played a couple of years in WSL. She was married to, or is married to, Zach Lloyd, who is her name's Casey Lloyd,
yeah,
and her husband was an MLS player up until a few years ago. He suffered a concussion and they decided to hang up his cleats. So, but he was a fan favorite here for FC Dallas, and then he played in Atlanta as well. But I just wanted role models in terms of these players who they could look up to if they've and these players that had the experience. So if they wanted to talk to, okay, how
mhm,
do I get to this level or whatever, that they could be a good sounding board
yeah.
and a good mentor, if you will.
And I love that idea and just bringing a high pedigree of coaches into it. So not just to fund them to have positive role models, but also players that can guide, sorry, coaches that can guide them in their
Yep.
careers, both on and off the field.
Yeah, exactly. So even though our season's only 3 months long, we consider ourselves, around the year-round club in the sense that we'll have training sessions, during the holidays if they want to join in, and
Yeah.
just kind of keep the brand out there.
No, I think that's absolutely important. As you mentioned, the season's only 3 months, but you want to keep the team together and also provide those opportunities for them. And if you've got the facilities, you've got the coaches, you've got the team.
Yep, it's definitely um, it's such a great group of people in terms of the coaching staff. We all get along great, and then everybody involved, the players, it's just a positive environment to be around. So it's a lot of fun.
So, well, look, thank you for joining us and giving a quick snapshot into the club and sort of and a background on it. We're really excited to be following you guys throughout the year. Oh, sorry, over the next 3 months and hopefully throughout the year, and just having chats with players and coaches and getting a first-hand experience and learning about it. Once again, thank you, John, and we'll look forward to having you on once again.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.